So what does it take for us to become followers of Fatima Zahra? Number one, getting to know her. Trying to understand the lifestyle that she led. Trying to understand the sacrifices that she made. Trying to recognize her sermon. Al-Khutba-e-Fadak, Ibn Abi al-Hadid al-Mu'tazili, in his commentary on Nahj al-Balagha, quotes this from Zayd ibn Ali, Ibn al-Husayn ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib, Zayd al-Shahid. He says, someone said to Zayd, this sermon looks like a fabrication. Because number one, it completely undresses the enemies of Fatima Zahra. It strips them naked and exposes them for who they were. And so again, it's uncomfortable. Number two, the eloquence of the sermon is just mind-boggling. In fact, one of the earliest sources that mentions Al-Khutba-e-Fadak, if somebody ever asks you where this came from, tell them that it comes from one of the earliest sources, one of the earliest books that were compiled in Islam in the 3rd century after Hijrah. A book by the name of Balaghatun Nisa. And the book is about the eloquence of women. Things that women had said that were eloquent and beautiful. And had elegant rhetorical structures and whatnot, right? In that book, he narrates this sermon. So he says, Ibn Abi al-Hadid says, that they asked Zayd ibn Ali, this sermon doesn't make sense. He said to them, listen, we in Al Abi Talib, our entire tribe, they have narrated this sermon generation after generation. And in fact, inna nu'allimuha abna'ana, we teach it to our children. It's not something that we came up with. This has been around for generations since the time of Fatima herself. How much do we really know about this sermon? Have we even sat down to read through the sermon from beginning to end? Or have we just heard snippets here and there? So you see what I mean? Let's elevate our knowledge of Fatima Zahra in an attempt to become closer and closer to her. لِنُبَشِّرَ أَنفُسَنَا بِأَنَّا قَدْ طَهُرْنَا بِوِلَايَتِكَ. Right? I said this about Sahifa Sajjadiyya a couple of years ago in London. I said, why is it that we don't have people who do their PhD dissertations on Sahifa Sajjadiyya or on Al-Khutba-e-Fadak? Why is it that we have Muslims, well-meaning Shia, go to universities, study in the field of humanities, but end up never contributing to these studies? Never introducing the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam to the academic world. If you must get into the humanities stream at universities, which is not something that I recommend, because the entire system is structured to cast doubt in your mind, and it runs contrary to religious belief in principle. But if you must, and if you happen to be there, you might as well pick an angle that serves the Imam of the time, that serves the cause of the Ahlul Bayt, and fulfill the hadith, رحم الله من أحيا أمرنا. قال كيف نحيي أمركم يا ابن رسول الله. The man asked the Imam al-Ridha alayhi salam, how do we revive your cause? How do we serve your mission? The Imam said, يتعلم علومنا ويعلمها الناس. To learn our sciences and to teach it to other people. So why don't we have PhDs on the Fadakiyya sermon? Why don't we have master's dissertations about the Fadakiyya sermon of Fatima Zahra? There's a big gaping hole. There's a vacuum that needs to be filled.
Allahumma kull waliyya al-hujjat ibn al-Hasan صلواتك